This is the Death Machine, Sammy Callahan, and you're watching Cole TV.
It was so good. I'm sorry. It's over. Oh, we're on the air. I'm sorry. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Thanks, bro. I'm Xlj the Og, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we talk about everything that happened in the world of professional wrestling. And as you can see, I'm joined once again. He was so damn good, we had to bring him back again. We're putting him on the payroll now, damn it. Welcome in the Wrestle Talk Drip God himself, a.k.a. Hooker T, a.k.a. Hambone. How you doing, bro?
I am doing good, Jay. Happy to be here. I'll expect my check and W-2 in the mail.
We'll get that to you. We'll get with accounts payable, and HR is going to be sending you over some forms to fill out. And be all right.
Good, because I've already got some complaints. So.
Well, I think they're mainly probably against B-roll, but that's okay. Speaking of which, shout out to B-roll. Couldn't be with us here tonight, but we want to wish his beautiful daughter Maya happy birthday from Cole TV. So going to be obviously dealing with that, but thank you again for coming in and helping us out on this episode tonight, my friend.
No problem.
And we got a lot to talk about, man. So as Mr. B-roll says, the clock starts now. And yes, our top story this week, AEW Revolution took place, and boy, oh boy, this was a hell of a show. Wow, what were your overall thoughts on Revolution, Hambone?
You know, I thought about Revolution the same thing that I think about almost every AEW pay-per-view. You look at it and you go, this is kind of underwhelming. And then you watch it, and every match is a banger, and it's an awesome pay-per-view, and Revolution was no different.
Absolutely. And we talked about it on a Revolution prediction show, which you can still catch the replay if you'd like here on Cole TV. How AEW was really just, it felt kind of stagnant, kind of like a holding pattern. It really needed a shot in an arm. And I think this pay-per-view definitely did this. I feel like this is one of their better pay-per-views. This reminded me of like one of the shows they put on back in like 2019 or something, man. This was a damn solid show. So let's just get right into it here. And of course, we got to talk about Sting's last match. What did you think of the overall performance of Sting in this matchup? And I think, I mean, it's still early, but is this like the best send-off any wrestler's ever had?
I mean, I feel like there's definitely an argument to be made there. You know, Sting said that he was going to put in a performance that would make the fans want to save the tape. And goddamn, did he do just that. He is a crazy old man. Yep. And he put on a hell of a performance for not even just for somebody his age, for somebody, period. There's no reason Sting needed to go through glass.
Yeah, I was nervous about that. I was like, ugh. And then we were talking about in our group chat, like, wait a minute, is that real or not? And then Darby spot happened. It's like, yeah, that's real. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Speaking of which,
cry me a river.
Cry me a river. I knew that was coming, but how fucking nuts is Darby Allin? I mean, we talk about it all the time, but Jesus, this spot, his back afterwards, it looked atrocious.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine who texted me after, and well, it was after they announced Darby and Jay for this coming Wednesday. And she goes, I think TK is trying to kill Darby. And I said, I'm pretty sure that Darby's trying to kill Darby.
No kidding, right? I know, like, I think I read something today where, like, Darby is pretty much, like, working until the end of March, more or less. And then he starts prepping for, like, his, what's the
Everest climb?
Mount Everest climb. Yeah.
Yeah, they said that, I think, as of March 27th, he'll be gone for an extended period to do that, so.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see. But man, oh man, Darby delivered. Also, too, The Bucks were fucking great in this match.
Mhm.
As the drip god, there's a lot of drip going on this show. I gotta ask
Oh,
you, what do
yeah.
you think of the Bucks' drip?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that the Bucks was the best drip of the show because that's definitely not true.
No.
But I love it. It works for their characters. I think it's funny. So,
You know the
I
thing they did the most I popped on?
what?
When it was like, when they were coming out and it was raining down their fucking business cards
Oh
in
yeah,
front of
yeah.
the Bucks.
I
Oh,
did.
I was like,
I
oh.
did. I did love that they went full like '80s NWA with the robes, though. That was a cool little touch.
Yeah, and just like teasing the entire internet with like the Cody elevator and stuff,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
Oh man, what is up, Dad? Oh man, he's a Tron at Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Some say. So, um, also, I got to talk to. What about the opening package for Sting when he was coming out?
Yeah, it's really disappointing. Especially with Triple H in
Yeah,
charge, that WWE couldn't just be cool and just give some of his footage. I mean, you could obviously tell that they were kind of scrambling for something because they really just kind of had to show a lot of pictures because they didn't really have a ton of footage. So it kind of sucks that WWE couldn't just be cool about that.
mhm.
But it was still a very cool package.
I thought it was epic, and then
Yeah,
Sting's the emotions on his face, man, and then
yeah,
when he's just like, "It's showtime, last showtime. Let's do this." Oh man, I got goosebumps, and the fact, like, how cool was it? His sons were dressed up as like the classic fit from when he was
yeah,
at the Great American Bash and won the
yeah. His
first
sons are in
time.
good shape, man.
Sons
They,
look
they're
great.
some big dudes.
And then his other son as Wolfpack Sting, man. It was
Yeah,
just everything about it was chef's kiss. The only thing I would say, and we kind of talked about this before we went on the air, kind of bullshit about Bleacher Report just cutting him off right at midnight. I get it, but still, it's like, come on, man. It's fucking Sting.
yeah.
It's fucking Sting, man. Oh, and I also loved Seek and Destroy one last time, too, for the
Oh
stadium.
yeah, yep. That was
Like,
cool.
the entire presentation, everything about this was fucking great. And yeah, I like we said, I don't. It's kind of hard to argue, see if anybody got a better send off than Sting. So
Yeah, and I
if
love
anybody
how
deserved it.
it's his it's his last match, and yes, he's in his 60s, but I just love how um unbeatable they made him look.
Yeah,
He was
because
just kicking out
literally,
of everything. He
the
took the
finish.
EVP trigger and kicked out at one. Just classic Sting stuff. So
Yeah,
it was great.
it was awesome. And also too, if undefeated in AEW, never was defeated.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's gonna be hard for anybody else to top that or get that claim. I don't think anybody will, honestly. And
Yeah.
I
No.
think that's the way it
9 and
should be,
0.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but Sting, nonetheless, man, definitely, he had to be our wrestler of the week here on PW60. We're gonna miss you, Stinger. You gave us such an awesome career. Well, we know there's a lot of us here that are big fans of the Stinger, but one of those, our good close personal friend, the best scout machine, we wanted to kind of check in on him and see how he's doing. So check this out.
Nobody's alive anymore. My hero's retired. It was so sad. It was such a beautiful moment. His kids were there dressed as him. His kids are fully grown men. I'm a fully grown man. One is life. Did I say men? Am I the plural? I don't know what to do. I found this fort made of carts. I'm going to hang out there and just hide from the world. Because life has no meaning no more. What do we got left from Sting's generation? Nobody. We have to go to the next one. And Bret Hart retired like 20 years ago. Just Jericho was around, but he's kind of an a-hole in real life. Shania Twain.
I feel you, best scout. We feel for you, buddy. We'll all pull through this together. Well,
Chris
the rest.
Jericho is kind of an a-hole.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of a gimmick, but I think he's obviously alluding to some other things that may or may not happen. But we're not talking about that because that's neither here nor there. We're talking about this incredible Revolution card, and let's talk about that triple threat match for the AEW Championship. Man, like I felt like this accomplished everything it should have set out to be.
Mhm.
Joe looked fucking awesome. Swerve looked like just on the cusp, on the cuffs. It makes you want it all the more. And now we're transitioning Hangman Page into arguably being like one of the top heels in AEW. Fucking love this matchup, man. What'd you think of this triple threat?
Yeah, it was a great match. It was exactly what I was expected. It was exactly how I predicted it. I said Hangman will take the pin. Swerve's not gonna win it just yet because they're not taking that belt off of Joe just yet. But I do still think that Swerve is going to take it from him eventually. But yeah, it was a great match. Swerve on the list of some of the best drip last night.
I was going to ask you about that. In my opinion, I
yeah.
think he had the best trip. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
The
And
knee pads, the shout out to Kill Shot.
Yeah. And did you see what it said on the side of the tights?
Wasn't it all the companies he worked for or something like that? Or
No. So he had a picture. It was Adam Page's face, and it said, "What's a buckshot to a kill shot?" And that only made it cooler to me.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's fucking sick. Yeah. Yeah, that gear was fire last night, man. Also, too, one thing, and B-roll pointed this out too, for like, little Easter eggs. Think back to Hangman when he was like the white meat baby face and he was going against CM Punk and he had the belt and he was going to hit him with it at Double or Nothing and he chose to go on the good side. And this time he didn't
Swerve,
hesitate. It's against Swerve. So it's kind of like you talk about storytelling with him long term and like now he's gone to the dark side, so to speak. So
and they kind of even completely reversed it because Nana handed Swerve his crown and Swerve said no, I don't need it.
Yeah, and he didn't. So
yeah, they're definitely both. Swerve is 100% a babyface now, and Page is definitely a heel at this point.
Yep, and Joe retains your championship. So awesome triple threat, man. Like we said, they accomplished everything that they needed to in this matchup. Holy shit. This one, we talked about it on the prediction show. We knew it was going to be a war, but fuck. It was just like, okay, let's showcase Will Ospreay from New Japan. And I would safely say mission fucking accomplished by AEW, man. A great choice to have Takeshita be his first opponent, too. Takeshita is so damn good. Look at like we got to see him Hambone like up close and in personal, that classic match against Kenny Omega at All Out back in September, man. And just to see his growth and stuff and this matchup, man, it may be you could say it could be Takeshita's best match he's had yet. That's saying something.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, this was absolutely match of the night for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what more there is to say. I mean, this is a Dave Meltzer cream dream right here. I'm sure he had to have rated it 47 stars or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it was an amazing, just very hard hitting match.
Needless to say, there is some sticky floors in the Meltzer household. We're just saying.
This is true. This is true.
Saying. But yeah, this was a perfect debut. Kyle Fletcher.
How we've seen Meltzer's office and it's just like his office and it's just like a bunch of papers everywhere. Yeah. All those papers are stuck together right now after last night's match.
Facts. But man, oh man, and it was cool to see Kyle Fletcher back in the States too. I love the emotional moment between them throwing up the Aussie, the United Empire sign. We talked about that on our prediction show too, man. That could be happening. All in all, it was a great night for Willie Ospreay. And of course, if there was any doubt, this is our match of the week here on PW60. But honestly, there was some good contenders off this show that could have been match of the week too. And we're going to talk about some of them. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about your AEW Women's Championship as one timeless Toni Storm retained against Deonna Purrazzo. Pretty solid matchup, I thought. Chain wrestling was great in this matchup. I gotta say, they got me at first. I thought, oh shit, Toni Storm is back. And like Mariah May, man, she is like the queen of cosplay, I think. Wrestling. Did Trish Stratus, like a couple weeks or something ago, I think people were talking about had a fit like hers. And I thought it was Toni Storm, man. Honest to God, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I like the fake out. It was a fun little thing to put there.
Yeah. But Toni did retain her championship. I'm not really surprised with that. Are you?
No, I really could have seen it gone either way. Because like I said, I do think that there's probably a Toni and Mariah feud coming. and I don't think that story necessarily needs the title right now. So I could have seen Deanna winning, but I don't know. Tony's just on the roll of a lifetime right now, so I would have been more surprised had Deanna won.
I would have too, to be quite honest with you. So let me ask you this: we kind of talked about this on the prediction show. Where does Deanna go from here? Because we obviously know a certain Miss Monet is showing up in AEW here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do with her?
I mean, that's the question, right? I mean, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of bringing people in and immediately giving them like a title shot within like a month, because all right, well, now where do you go from here? On top of that, you got Monet more than likely coming in. You got Britt Baker coming back. You got Jamie Hayter coming back. You got a lot of big names coming back. And regardless of how much we complain about it, it does not seem like Tony Khan is going to give the women more time on the show. So it's a good question. And I don't know the answer, because I don't know what to do with her at this point. There's so little time for the women on the shows that I don't know where she fits in right now.
Like, give them the number one. There should be at least 2 matches on Dynamite and Collision.
Yeah.
They're women's matches. And I don't mean squash matches either.
But, you know what I would like to see? Just make Rampage a women's only show.
Oh, that'd be dope. I would fucking watch that every week with anticipation.
Just make it a women's show. Like there's nothing on Rampage that can't be changed to just be like, hey, this is the women of AEW. We got to give them more time. Here's an hour, just them.
I like it, man. Papa Khan, you should be listening to Hambone here and let him take over.
Let me book Ring of Honor. I don't know how many times I have to ask you. and put Dalton Castle on AEW.
Yeah, that has to happen. All right. And of course, we did have one new champion crown at Revolution as Roderick Strong won the international title from DeVito Orange Cassidy. Not really a big surprise here. Fun matchup. Good matchup. Solid matchup.
Could have been another match of the night contender, I think. It was a very good match.
Yeah, I mean, Roddy put on a clinic of just beating the fuck out of
the way that match was booked, I mean, Roddy really looked like a fucking beast last night in that match.
Yeah, it was like he was out to murder Orange Cassidy. But I think what you could say the biggest surprise of the night really was Kyle O'Reilly was back in AEW. I feel like this picture right here is going to be turned into like a meme of like sad music or something. Like
absolutely
just with the hair. I'm glad he's
so
back.
Sad.
He looks so sad though. It's like, be happy, you're back, bro. We love you. We love you. But a lot of confusion there, like within, like, okay, so he's not with the Undisputed Kingdom. He kind of whispered something into Roddy's ear and kind of walked off, but was congratulatory toward him. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Where do you think this is going?
I mean, I don't know, but I like it because we've seen similar situations like that before in wrestling, right? And there's 2 ways to go. Either the guy joins or he doesn't, and he gets beat up or something like that, right? And that is what we all expected last night. One or the other is going to happen here, and neither of those happened. We don't know what he said. Nobody attacked him. He walked off looking like he was going to cry. Like, this is different. This is different than what we're used to seeing in this situation, and I don't know where the hell it's going, but I am intrigued by it.
That's right. I mean, that's the thing. It's got you talking. It's got you thinking, and that's the most important thing. So, but glad to have him back because I mean, there was talks too, like he would maybe not be able to wrestle again.
Yeah.
So,
so
hopefully we'll get to see him pretty soon back in the squared circle. But glad to have him back in AEW, man. And then we had the 8-man scramble match, which I gotta say was my other surprise of the night in the sense of like this match was actually kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was not mad at it, and no shocker, Wardlow picks up the win. It does make things kind of confusing because we're getting Wardlow and Joe now, but you have Wardlow that's been built up, and you've got Joe, and it's like, you're not? I don't think you end Joe's run, so it's like, what's the purpose of this?
Exactly. That was my argument on the prediction show. Okay, so you have Wardlow win, and then what? You job him again after you're trying to get him hot again? I don't understand it.
I think they're trying to Sammy Guevara him. I'm just saying.
I
don't know, but
okay.
I did like the showdown there where like they got rid of all the other competitors, and then it was like the Meat Man matchup,
Meat
and then
Men?
like
Mhm.
yeah, and then we kind of got a matchup with the other 4 competitors doing a similar move set. But yeah, this was a solid matchup, and I don't know. I'm like you. I'm like, what the hell do we do with Wardlow after this? Because he's not beating Joe, but
No.
I don't know. Now, honestly, Hambone, for me, if it wasn't for the Takeshita Osprey match, this is my match of the night.
I agree.
Bryan Danielson, Eddie Kingston going to war with each other. These guys beat the holy hell out of each other. And I loved every second of it, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome moment for Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston is on a fucking roll, man. It's like Eddie Kingston, this story with him and stuff, and to see where he's at, and just the momentum he has. Like, this is fucking huge. This guy deserves this and then some, man. What'd you think of this matchup? How happy were you with the outcome?
Yeah, I mean, if Takeshita and Osprey had not happened, this would have been my match of the night. I say on every podcast that Eddie is one of my guys. Eddie and OC, those are my 2 favorite AEW guys. I love Bryan Danielson also. I don't know how you can not like Bryan Danielson. This was exactly what we wanted. They went in there, they beat the hell out of each other. Bryan lost, and he finally shook his hand and said he respected him. So it was exactly what I wanted to see out of it. I don't, like I said, I don't know what are you doing with this title? What are you doing with this title?
It's like the Eddie Kingston title, and I'm
Yeah.
glad he's got it and he's gonna defend it. I think our biggest gripe with it is it needs to be defended on New Japan regularly, and it needs to be defended on Ring of Honor regularly.
I think we just need a definitive definition of what it is.
Well,
Is
that's
it one
true, too.
title? Is it 3 titles? Can he
Yeah.
defend them separately, or do they all have to be defended at the same time? Like, there's just so many questions with it. I don't know. I feel like Eddie is just destined for bigger things than this title that nobody understands.
That's fair, but I think he is cherishing this for multiple reasons. A
Sure,
big one
yeah.
because obviously a nod to like his heroes that inspired him in Japan and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, cool, good for him, man. Glad to see the momentum going, and also I don't know if you got a chance to see this, but on their social media, there's a really cool behind the scenes footage of the Eddie and Danielson talking to each other and stuff.
Yeah.
That was really
I
cool.
watched it. Yeah. And I liked what Danielson said in it. He was basically like, there was a point in the match where I knew that I really hurt him, and he still fought through it and he beat me. And that was the moment where I realized that, me not respecting him was a me problem, that I was holding on to stupid bullshit from years ago. And that, he finally did all the things that we always told him he needed to do to live up to his potential. So it was cool, cool little backstage moment between them.
Yeah, it was, and like I say, it was a hell of a matchup, and it'd be interesting to see where both these guys go from here. Like, what do you do with Eddie? What do you do with Danielson? So
yeah,
because remember we're in the
we're out.
The final
we're running down on time here. So
yep. So we'll just have to see what happens. Now this match, I was pumped for, but it delivered a little bit better than I thought it would, to be honest with you. And I guess I don't know, because I think because of the placement where it was at, it's still kind of coming down on some highs from some other matches. But damn, this is another one that's right up there as far as match of the night. Talking about FTR against the Blackpool Combat Club. Fucking love the tribute to the World Wars by the BCC when they came out.
Yeah,
that was sick.
awesome. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
cool.
sick. I kind of was a little surprised that the BCC won this one. Especially like in Carolina, because typically Tony Khan, he doesn't fall into that bullshit that WWE was used to do as far as like booking them to lose in their hometown. But I don't know. I feel like, because one thing we didn't mention is the tag team titles have been vacated now. It was announced at the Scrum. So there is an upcoming tournament in March. So do you think both these teams could possibly be in the finals of that, and we get like a FTR BCC 3?
I'm going to be honest. I would not be surprised if Claudio and Moxley end up winning the entire thing, because, AEW, they just fucking love Mox. He's he's their guy. They're going to give him every title in there, even though, personally, like, I think that there's definitely like enough tag teams on the roster, mid-card tag teams that's where the title should be going, except for on, bigger names like, Moxley and all that, but whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones who win it at the end.
Yeah, I would say easily they're going to be the odds-on favorites to win that tournament. So,
Yeah.
but dude, this was like a classic tag match, man. I loved every bit of it. It was awesome. It was a war. It was good stuff. And let's talk about your opener with Christian Cage defending the TNT title against Daniel Garcia, Mr. Hambone. The first thing that comes to my mind, and rightfully so, you've criticized Daniel Garcia for having some of the most bland ring gear. Can we talk about the fit here? Because
yes,
I think
Daniel Garcia earned himself a place on March Madrip for 2025 next year with these pants, because he finally gave up on those ugly ass spray painted things. Now here's the thing. He needs to continue this trend, because I remember there've been a couple times where we went back to the tights for a night or two, and I went, oh, okay, we're going back to that. That's better than the pants. And he just keeps going back to the pants. So he's got to stick with this stuff.
Yes, Danny. This is a good look for you. You keep this, young man.
And the Sting jacket.
The Sting jacket
cool
was
as hell,
great. A lot of Sting tributes throughout the night too. I think Brian Cage with the face paint was one. I thought, oh no, that was in backstage segments. Never mind. I know Powerhouse Hobbs had like a Wolfpack shirt on and stuff when they were interviewing him. So, but yeah, man, like overall, like, and of course Christian picking up the win. No shocker there.
I was shocked.
Were you? Yeah, because you had picked Daniel Garcia to win.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I guess, not just
no
by
Adam Copeland.
Exactly. Not just by the title win, but the fact that, he just beats him. Adam Copeland's not around, hasn't been around, it feels like a couple weeks. I know that they did that concerto thing. Like, this just seems like the perfect place to have brought him back and have him screw over Christian and continue their feud without having the title on the line, which neither of these men need. But
and
what do I know? I'm just a mark.
Yeah, fucking mark. But also though too, Adam Copeland, it's his home state pretty much. So I mean, I thought he would have been there, but I don't know. But all in all, Revolution was an amazing show. I think it's going to be a show we're going to be talking about years to come. It's got a lot of rewatchability.
The other problem is too, Jay, we're thinking like, why isn't he here? This is the perfect time for him to come back. He lives there, but we're just like, we think we know him or something,
Which we have no idea. I see what you did there, and I like it.
I'm gonna leave.
I'll be here till Tuesday. Don't forget to tip your waitress. So our good close friend Husky Rhodes has got a hot take and some opinions kind of on Revolution. So let's go to him right now.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Husky Rhodes. Revolution happened last night. Probably one of the greatest AEW pay-per-views that they've done in their short run. Everything was incredible. Two things I want to throw at you guys really quick. One, we got Kyle O'Reilly back, which is fucking rad. But he seemed conflicted, and when they gave him the Undisputed Kingdom shirt, he folded it up, threw it on Roddy's shoulder, and whispered in his ear. Two questions. Do you guys think this is a ruse and he's going to end up joining, or do you think he's going to feud with the Undisputed Kingdom? Also, now that Sting is retired, the tag team titles are vacated. There's going to be a tournament for it. Me personally, after what I saw last night, your finals for that tournament are going to be the Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR. That match was too good for them to end it right there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, interesting. It's going to be interesting. A couple weeks on AEW television to see, to say the least. And I think that's awesome too, because they needed it so much. Because we talk about it here a lot on PW60. WWE is on all cylinders right now. They're at their best they've been in years, and it's WrestleMania season. But hey, like I say, they needed that desperately. So it's going to be awesome to see what happens on AEW. But let's switch shifts here. Let's talk about WWE, that road to WrestleMania. And Hambone, Friday night, we found out The Rock had a counteroffer for one Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, as he has suggested a tag match for night 1 of WrestleMania with The Rock and Roman going up against Cody and Seth. Now, the rules are, the stipulation is that if Rock and Roman win, the match on night 2 between Cody and Roman is a Bloodline rules matchup. However, if Cody and Seth wins, the Bloodline's barred from ringside. But the thing I really want to talk about this this segment here, I love what they're doing with Roman. How they're just showing him he's so like, he asked the crowd to acknowledge him 3 times, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You can just tell he's just like, the shit's getting to him, man.
Yeah.
And
then they're showing him mentally breaking down, which is what we've been waiting to see.
Yes, which only we could say that in the world of pro wrestling. We're waiting for a man, a human being, to mentally break down. It's okay. It's wrestling. But I love too the moment where Rock is doing If You Smell and Roman does the whole, because I do feel like Rock has kind of been dominating this whole time, and it's just like making kind of Roman look like a little brother, so to speak,
Sure. Yeah, and I mean even just Roman putting his hand there was an moment for the crowd, but then him saying you need to do it. You got to acknowledge me. And then Rock doing it was an even bigger like, oh shit moment, you know what I mean? Like they had the crowd just completely in their hand with just those 2 parts.
Yeah. And them saying like, I acknowledge you, Roman Reigns, as my tribal chief, is like,
yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course Rock's still throwing it up like this though. Just
yeah. I mean, I feel like Rock acknowledging Roman as the tribal chief is clearly a sign that he is turning on him.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So I mean, we all kind of thought that this tag team match was, it was a possibility for night 1 that it was coming. But I really like the stipulation they threw on it, because I feel like there's a lot of ways they can go with it. Night 1 you could have Cody and Seth win, and then Cody just gets his straight up one-on-one match against Roman in a normal match, and he finally redeems himself for last year. I say that with The Rock turning on Roman on night 1, right? Or you could have Rock and Roman win on night 1 and then have Rock turn on him on night 2. Or you could have Seth and Cody win on night 1 with Drew McIntyre screwing Seth over because he told him to stay out of their stuff, and now he's getting involved in it. Drew could come out and he could cause the issue. So there's a lot of ways they could go here. They're keeping us guessing with it. So I really like that they added the stipulation to it.
And you said it, you've said this time in and time out, that, and true words couldn't be said. It may be predictable, but if it makes sense, that's okay.
That's right.
Just enjoy the ride, folks.
That's right. When I go to a Marvel movie, I know at the end the superheroes are going to win, but there's going to be a lot of action in between that I'm really going to enjoy, and I apply that same logic to wrestling.
100%, brother. One thing I would like to see with this is on night 1, let's have Roman and Rock go over, have even Cody eat the pin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now there's a 24-hour period where Cody's like, I got beat.
Right.
I had this opportunity in my hands and I squandered it. And now the bloodline is going to be all, what do I do? Questioning himself. Finally having that moment of hesitation or something, gets over it in this match, and The Rock turns on Roman on night 2. So.
Yeah.
Either way,
I do like that idea. The only issue is how do you show in 24 hours Cody going through that without a show in between? You know what I mean? You'd have to do a lot of social media stuff and just count on people.
You know what though?
Shit or something,
Facial, like it's going to be in the facials.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be in the facials.
I mean, we all
announcers
felt it last year with Cody just sitting in the ring. Just
it's got to be like that, and Michael Cole and them just building a story here, like and then building it up on like the pre-show. So either way, it's gonna be fucking awesome. We're in for the ride, and humble brag, we're both gonna be there to check it out. It's gonna be fucking amazing. I can't wait, buddy. So we keep saying, why the fuck is it not April? Oh man. Well, one thing we got to talk about this segment. It was kind of a little hard to watch, wasn't it? Because just kept fucking blacking out because of a fan having the Die Rocky Die sign that was being censored by Fox. But they didn't have a problem with like methamphetamine and cocaine and crack.
Yeah, and crackhead was fine.
Crackheads, that's fine. But
Yeah,
Die Rocky Die, no. Well, I would say this: our good friend Dad Hat actually has some advice on this matter. So let's go to him right now with some Dad Hat's advice of the week.
It's that time of the week again. Dad Hat's Life Lessons of the Week. Brought to you by World Championship Wreckage. Find them on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And also by the Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Wednesday, twitch.tv/Wrestle Talk Wolfpack. And now, here's Dad Hat.
All right, kids. Remember, don't write dumb shit on signs and ruin the fun for everybody else at home.
Yeah. So you blacked out there. That's what happens. So lesson learned.
Well,
one more thing.
On purpose. It's like you're a professional or something.
One more thing I want to talk about with Rock, where he dropped a massively long promo on social media on Friday, a literally 21-minute promo.
Yeah.
I personally loved it because I felt like it tied up a couple of loose ends that needed to be tied up. I really like kind of how he explained the story of like, okay, I went to Cody and said, hey, we're going to have this amazing moment or whatever. Cody's like, I agrees to step down, blah, blah, blah. I was okay with it. I liked it personally. And it's The Rock playing all the hits, right? And then, of course, the line from the bottom of my heart, Cody, fuck your story. I loved it. What did you think of that promo on Instagram?
So, I mean, I don't know if I watched the same video, because was this just The Rock by himself, the one that you're talking about?
It shows clips of stuff happening in between.
Okay. All right. So then, yes, we did watch the same one. And like I said, I feel like a lot of it was stuff that we had already seen. I see where you're coming from. I think, my favorite part of it was Cody's response.
Yes.
Which I can't remember the exact wording, but it was pretty much like, I'm not watching all that, but good for you, or I'm sorry that happened, I think is what it was. Yeah. So I'm not watching that, but I'm going to cover my bases either way.
I love it was great, man. But I really feel like we're on a damn good path now. There was kind of some questionable things here and there, but damn, this story, this is really fucking good, man. And I can't wait for what happens at WrestleMania. So yeah. But I thought Friday Night SmackDown was a loaded show, man. I mean, granted, they did take up 30 minutes of that with the Rock Bloodline segment. And unfortunately, really cut into the Tiffany Stratton-Naomi matchup, as we find out. But Tiffany Stratton picked up in a big win against Naomi. Obviously, they are building her up to be like the next big star. Makes sense, especially after like her performance at Elimination Chamber. She's an awesome competitor. I'm happy for her. No shocker here. Dakota Kai turning on Bayley in that tag match.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I was shocked by it. I thought they were going to keep Dakota with Bayley because, it just seems like, Asuka, Io, and Kyrie with their past. Okay, that group makes sense. Just them three. You don't need anybody else with them. So I really did think that Dakota was going to stay by Bayley's side. So it actually did shock me. The heel turn got me.
Oh, well, that's good, man. I feel like I don't know. Like I can understand what you're saying, but I also kind of feel like too, like, I don't know, it just makes sense for Bayley to have like more adversity against her, I guess. And now she's got like friends. Because think of how she built that up and like the heelish things she did in the past to like get that group together. And I almost wonder, are we going to get Hugger Bayley back from this at WrestleMania? I don't think we do, but I think we get some hybrid version of that.
Sure.
With and I'm okay with that,
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think going back to that, especially with all the growth that we've seen, from Bailey, that'd be a huge step back for her,
Yeah,
especially because I feel like we're all kind of pretty sure that she's going to win here and finally get her WrestleMania moment, because she hasn't gotten that yet. So to go like completely back to something like that, I feel like that would kill all of the growth that she's had.
Yeah. Also, Rey Mysterio popping up back again. Looks like he's good to go just in time for WrestleMania this season. I'm excited about that. I'm going to assume he's going into a match at Mania in some capacity against Santos Escobar, or maybe we're going to do a faction on War. I don't know. Who knows what we're going to get there, but Ray's back. And the mask is sick, by the way, too. Fucking love that mask design,
The
man.
Muda mask, yeah.
Muda mask is sick. And then also in the main event, we got Randy Orton going over on Austin Theory, but KO being there to kind of help him against Theory and Waller. I'm kind of confused on what the fuck they're going to do with KO at WrestleMania. Like,
listen, there's a lot of people on this roster where I have no idea what they're doing or where they're going with them at this point. There are so many big names on this roster who deserve to be on the show, and it just does not seem like a lot of them have a direction or a place, and he only got 2 nights. So
yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, KO is definitely one of those ones that's sticking out. Like, what the hell are you doing with this guy here?
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what KO's road to WrestleMania holds for him. And let's talk about Monday Night Raw. And of course, in the main event, we got Cody Rhodes going over on Grayson Waller. That street fight with Imperium and the New Day. Also, you know what I personally loved off Raw was maybe one of my funner, if I may say my favorite moment of the night was, I like the Raquel Rodriguez Chelsea Green match. Just everything Chelsea does is so fucking good. Put a belt on her, damn it. Like, she needs a championship of some sorts. I don't care. Like, I love Chelsea Green. I'm sorry, I love Chelsea Green. Raw, I thought, was a solid show, but man, oh man, SmackDown, damn good show. Like I say, WWE's firing on all ends. Hey, what'd you think of the Cody stuff at the end with like going up against the security guards and beating the shit out of them? Like, I don't know. A lot of people were like cool with it, and it wasn't bad or anything, but I didn't think it was like this real badass as everybody said it was.
Sure. I mean, I think. I mean, I didn't mind it because wasn't it that it was who was it that came out and it was their personal security or something?
Paul
like that,
Heyman.
right?
It was
yeah,
Paul.
Heyman. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you don't feel bad for him because Paul's sleazy and clearly he hired these people just to beat Cody up. They weren't just actual security that worked there. So when you look at it that way, you go, okay, yeah, it makes Cody look a little bit badass, where he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing this with you. So don't even come in here or I'll take you all out. And then he did it. Yeah. I mean, I do, as much as I love Cody, and I do love Cody, he's, one of my favorites right now. And I know that the whole WWE universe, for the most part, loves Cody. He could use a little bit of an edge. Yeah, he could use a little bit of an edge.
So maybe see some more of this for Cody on down the road. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to see that side of the American Nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's talk about NXT from Tuesday night. Had a lot going on here. The big one was, oh my God, I can't think of the kid's name. Regal's kid. Charlie Dempsey. Going over on Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup. Perfect guy to win that. Guy deserves that. Continuing on with Roxanne Perez's like joining the dark side or whatever, I guess you could say. I don't know. And then of course the stuff with Carmelo and Dragunov, and now Angelo has inserted himself into this. It looks like we're getting a #1 contendership at Roadblock this upcoming Tuesday. I mean, I got nothing against Angelo, but I don't know. He doesn't do anything for me. Like the family stuff, I'm just kind of like, eh.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. When he debuted, I was not a fan because I was like, all right, so this is what we're doing. We're going back to like a over the top ethnic gimmick, like it's the early 90s or something. But I will say that they've toned it down slightly. And he has won me over. I think he's, one of those guys that they hired, with the NIL program that, he really took to it in both, not just in the ring, but outside the ring, the character stuff, the talking, all that. So he has won me over. I hate his ring gear though. I really wish that he would change to something different to be taken more seriously. Although I do want to know what he does to keep his undershirt tucked in all the time. I mean, it never comes out. I mean, he's out there having a physical match and never comes out. I can't sit down without the back of my shirt pulling out. So what is this guy doing? I need to know that. But I do like that they've inserted him into this and that they're moving him up a little bit.
Yeah. I just find it's weird that, I mean, I think it's obviously going to be Dragunov and him at TakeOver, because I really think you're getting Carmelo and Trick as in a big matchup at TakeOver. So
yeah,
I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Roadblock.
I'm a little tired of Carmelo and Dragunov at this point anyway. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I've seen it enough. We can move on.
Yeah, 100%. But the big story coming out of NXT, I didn't see this coming at all.
Nobody did.
And this is when it's like, I love it when you can surprise people like this. Shawn Spears showing up back in NXT. Not only that, they're calling him Shawn Spears. It's not Ty Dillinger. It ain't the Perfect 10 anymore, folks. It's Shawn fucking Spears.
Yeah,
is in NXT. Great move for him. I mean, because what the fuck was he doing in AEW?
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense for him. He can go back there, work in NXT. He's a phenomenal performer. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what comes from his character arc there, and he'll be able to help a lot of the younger talent too. It's a win-win for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I was most impressed by was just the fact that nobody knew. It didn't get out to the dirt sheets. Nobody saw it coming. They didn't even have him do the rehearsal. They had Shawn Michaels fill in his part and just, do like, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're not going to know who it is though. Which I like. I like that we can get surprised as wrestling fans still every now and then. But I think that Shawn Spears coming back also proves that, hey, if you want a job in WWE, go work for AEW first, because they'll just hire anybody that they let go. I expect Santana to show up in WWE now. So
yeah, because that's coming out today too, that he's gone. So
he'll be there soon enough.
Hey, speaking of news that come out today, how about this? Paul Heyman, the first inductee. Yeah, I see you got that ECW drip, that hat, which is gorgeous, by the way. Announced for the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. It makes perfect sense. It's in Philly. There's going to be a ECW, a heavy base here in the Hall of Fame, as there should be. And what better way than for the mad scientist himself to be put in the Hall of Fame? So fucking happy about this.
Absolutely. I love Paul Heyman. I would love to meet Paul Heyman. I've always loved Paul. Even with all the bullshit that you hear about him from other wrestlers and stuff, there's just something about him. He's just got a charisma about him. It's really hard to hate the guy. But he's absolutely deserving, not just for his work in WWE, but say what you want, ECW changed the wrestling business. It did. And it's because of this man. And I'm very glad that I will be there to be able to see it live.
I'm jealous.
We were talking before we came on about who would induct him. There are a couple names that came up, but like I said before, I think Stone Cold would be a very cool person to induct Paul Heyman.
I think you nailed it, dude. I think Austin makes, we were talking about this, it makes perfect sense. I mean, the biggest name in pro wrestling, and that wouldn't have happened if Austin didn't have that mic in ECW and the freedom to do what he, so 1,000% would be on board for that, man. But it's going to be interesting to see who else goes in the Hall of Fame, but I am so stoked that Paul Heyman is the first announced inductee for the 2024 WWE Hall of Fame.
And we know damn well that that's going to be an amazing speech.
Oh my God. I can't even fathom. Like I'm going to be at the ECW arena while it's happening, watching the Dudleys go against Onita and a mystery partner, but
you'll have it on your phone.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Absolutely, my friend. Well, it's come that time of the show. Let's go to our good friend Spicy Guac for a spicy take.
The Judgment Day is probably one of the better factions in the past 30 years. I'll say it. They are on par right now in popularity. As D-Generation X. I said it. Not the NWO. D-Generation X.
That is
Wow.
a spicy take. Wow.
He had me in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know, but the Judgment Day has been fun to watch. So I will say.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like Dynamite. My gosh, man, like completely forgot about that. But I mean, of course,
It feels like so long ago.
I know, right? I mean, it was all right. It wasn't bad by any means. It was a decent show, but I mean, just what happened at Revolution and going back and talking about this is just like, well, it happened.
Yeah.
The biggest thing though, Sting coming down from the rafters, man. That was the moment of the night for sure.
Yep. I was not expecting that to happen.
No, I wasn't at all, and I was marking the fuck out, brother. I also think it's cool too. I don't know if you heard this or not, but Tony Khan did approach Martha Hart asking for permission that if this would be okay to do, and she granted it, obviously. So yeah, I think that was pretty cool. But yeah, Dynamite. Hey, man, Dynamite's Dynamite, man. But Revolution was an amazing show, nonetheless. Yeah, Rampage. It happened. I don't know. The only thing I really took away from Rampage was the segment with Ruby Soho and Angelo and Saraya, kind of, sort of. I don't know. Like,
yeah, like have you you don't watch the weekly Ring of Honor show, do you?
I don't.
Okay,
I should, but I don't.
You don't need to. I mean, unless you don't pay for it, it's not good. But they've had Saraya's brother there, Zach Knight. They've had him work a couple matches on there before they officially signed him. And you know what? I'm really surprised that nobody hired this dude before. Like, he's a big dude in great shape. He's a good looking guy, and he's pretty fucking good in the ring. Like, I had never seen him wrestle before, but I am really surprised that WWE passed on this guy several times.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting, but nonetheless, you had Rampage on Friday and then Collision on Saturday, which it really looks to me like you've got some talent here that's typically on every Saturday night. Thunder Rosa is now, like, I guess, a Collision person pretty much, which I'm happy to see her, but like, damn it, we need to be doing something else with her.
Yep.
Like,
what is she doing?
Yep. There's so many. You know where we've talked about this earlier with like what's going to happen with Deanna. Another person you could talk about too, Serena Deeb.
Damn right.
I think perfect time to do it. You've got a loaded roster. Where's the women's tag team titles at?
Yeah, man. Serena and Deanna together.
That's what made me think of
sign me up for that tag team.
Oh my God. Could you imagine that tag team? That would be insane, man. Like, yeah, Papa Khan, I'm telling you, you need to listen to us. You need to go ahead and bring us those tag titles.
Yeah.
We need them. We need them in our life. So, well, other news coming out in the world of wrestling. It looks like Tama Tonga is WWE bound, as it was announced this week, or not necessarily announced, but heavily rumored that he is going to be signing with the WWE. I think they probably put him in NXT, especially with how Gallows and Andersons are now in NXT. Maybe a little reunited Bullet Club action there. I don't know. A lot of people saying too, like, well, is he going to go in the Bloodline? But is he like a member officially of the Blood? Like, is he actually related? Like,
he's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not. Is he? Yeah.
No, he's not. He's Haku, and I don't. That whole thing between them two and Haku is odd too, because they're adopted, but they're technically cousins, not brothers, and Haku is actually their uncle. But The Rock calls Haku uncle, but they're not actually blood. But then when you look at the Samoan family tree there, I mean, a lot of them aren't blood. A lot of them are, they said they had, they were blood brothers, which, okay, but that's not actual bloodline. So I don't know. I don't know how you count that, but I would prefer to see him with Gallows and Anderson. I am a huge fan of the Good Brothers. I know that a lot of people aren't, especially if all you've seen is their WWE stuff, because they have not been allowed to show what they can do, how entertaining they can be. And the OC stuff has been shit. And I would love to see Tama come in, be paired with him, change that name. Don't be called the OC anymore. It's got to go. And maybe they can, maybe adding Tama is what they need to bring them back up to where they were before.
Get that fresh counter bait, brother. That's exactly what they need. So, but yeah, nonetheless, it does look like he is on his way to the WWE. So that's going to be interesting to see. And also coming out this week, this is kind of, I don't know, man. I'm indifferent on this one. There was a house show where fans were booing the crap out of Maxine Dupree. I mean, I think she's doing a hell of a job. I enjoy watching her. I liked her character development. I love the stuff with America or Alpha Academy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you make of all this?
So she sucks, right? But I'm not going to boo her because it's not her fault that she sucks. It is WWE's fault that she sucks. She was not a wrestler beforehand. She was another one who was hired off of the NIL stuff, and she didn't get any training. She was immediately brought to the main roster as a manager and then thrown in there to have matches. She's had 12 matches. Yeah. There's no reason to think that this girl is going to be good after 12 matches. And really the only training she's getting is going out there and having a match on live TV. You know what I mean? Is she good? No, but I also would not expect her to be. And I don't blame her for not being good at this point in her career.
Yeah, and that's fine. I don't like. Let's not. I don't know. Wrestling fans are so damn fickle, man.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
I mean, we talk
about
just
very quick to judge too. Like, you know, yeah, she's not good in the ring, but there's more to that, and the fact that most of them can't understand that and separate is kind of sad.
It really is, and also too, just with the toxicity that goes on in the IWC too, as well and stuff. Man, it's like people. We say it all the time, like touch some grass. It's just wrestling. Yeah. Enjoy professional wrestling, for God's sakes. Speaking of which, in talking about that subject, our good, close personal friend, Sienna Chanel, actually has some advice on what you wrestling fans should do to conduct yourselves. So that being said, let's go to her.
When you hear the term wrestling community, you think of just one category, wrestling fans. But then when you think of the term wrestling fans, it's just like, people that watch wrestling in person or on TV or both. And also like with content creation as well. Newsflash, wrestling community and wrestling fans, it's all into one for everyone that is like loving wrestling, like the wrestlers themselves that's in the ring, the broadcasters like commentators, ring announcers, and also like personalities too, like managers, valets, and such. People that work in backstage, like ring crew, producers, the bookers, etc. Also, wrestling journalists, whether it's legit or in the dirt sheet, podcasters, of course, and what else? Oh, the one that I used to watch wrestling, but still, they have like a wrestling fan in them. They are more than welcome to come back into watching wrestling anytime soon, whatever they desire to. Also, like people that casually watching wrestling, or a little bit. There are also wrestling fans as well within the wrestling community. I mean, I just wanted to say something out there. I mean, pretty much wrestling community is for everyone in every aspect of being a wrestling fan.
That's right. Sienna's telling the truth there. I'm just saying, like, just enjoy wrestling, folks, because we are in like a huge boom here right now. And there's so much wrestling to consume. And
let other people enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even if they don't live up to your standards of what a wrestling fan is.
Yeah, if you prefer like New Japan over everything else, that's fucking great. If you like WWE over everything else, that's fucking great. But don't tear everybody else down because they don't like your promotion as the best one, Just saying. Well, MLW Intimidation Games took place this past Thursday in New York, and it was a sellout crowd there. They actually had to turn fans away, Hambone. There were so many people trying to get in. Solid and loaded show. You got to see in the main event Kojima defend his MLW Heavyweight Championship against Minoru Suzuki. Always fun to see those guys go at it. They've had so many wars throughout the years. Matt Riddle defended his New Japan Television title on this show as well, successfully retaining against Bad Dude Tito. Our good buddy Alex Kane had a hell of a matchup against Bobby Fish, where he did defeat Bobby Fish. Solid show. You can catch the replay of this on Triller TV. I highly recommend you give it a watch, man. And speaking of which, on Triller TV, GCW had some awesome shows this weekend. Project GCW was a great show in St. Louis, but I got to talk about GCW Keep in Touch because your boys was there live and in color. Mr. B-Roll, along with the CDC and myself. We were actually there. A fucking amazing show. And I got to tell you this, folks, tune in later this week on Wednesday. Our GCW Keep in Touch vlog will be dropping. And speaking of which, we got a little sneak peek of that vlog. Check us out. And welcome to our very special GCW in Indianapolis vlog. Come on, ready, Daddy? Oh, shit! Oh, come on, Shaggy. Oh, yeah! No way. No way. Holy shit. Yes. Yes. Good job, cousin Mike. Good job. Good job. You did it. You did it, cousin Mike. You did it. MDK. 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 We'll be on the lookout on this Wednesday. We had, as you can see, we were front row, front and center in front of everything, man. Had some great seats. It was a fun show, man. Well, this came out too this week. TNA has officially signed Hammerstone, which I think that's huge for them. I love Hammerstone, man. Alexander Hammerstone is a fucking amazing performer. I can see we're already getting a rematch with Josh. Oh my God, I'm drawing a brain fart.
Alexander.
Josh Alexander, thank you. I want to say Josh Briggs for a moment, but that's UFC. It's like, what? But Josh Alexander also, I think at some point, he could be a challenger to your TNA champion Moose. I think that'd be a hell of a matchup itself as well, but it's exciting to see that Hammerstone is in TNA. And hey, we are going into overtime here on PW60, but it's okay. We got clearance from the network. They said it's okay. So just like Papa Khan does on Wednesday nights. So, well, it's come that time of the show. Let's go to Brian with Brian's random moment of the week.
PW60 peeps. What up, peoples? Yeah. Hey, random moment of the week. I don't have trivia this week. I don't have anything like that, but much like everybody else, of course, with AEW Revolution in the books, the icon Sting, Steve Borden, has retired. And just take a few moments to talk about Sting, the man called Sting, like his song, Man Called Sting. I got to stop singing. I first got into pro wrestling through a couple of friends of mine in 1990. Before I ever watched any WWF, I first was introduced to World Championship Wrestling. I don't remember the first match. I don't remember the first person I saw, but I remember the first characters that really stuck out to me. And it was this face-painted, vibrant, blonde-haired, high-energy wrestler named Sting. The Stinger Splash, the scream to the crowd, the energy he projected, everything about him, just it drew me in as a fan. And I've always been a fan of Sting for the longest time. Of course, his battles against Vader in the mid-90s in WCW, he was the franchise, the face of the company. He's the one that didn't leave to go to the WWF like Flair had done and Luger had done and several others. He was the constant. He was the standard. He was the franchise of WCW. He was the flag bearer. When Hogan came in, he was still the flag bearer, even when Hogan tried to be the man in WCW. Of course, the NWO happened. I remember Sting when the major character changed, the Crow persona given to him by Scott Hall, suggested by Scott Hall. I remember in Halloween for 2 years in a row, painting my face, and I didn't do Halloween very much, but I did that because I like Sting that much. Remember what he did in the NWO Wolfpack? Wolfpack is back making mass destruction. Yes, I remember that as well with the red and black. And throughout all of his career. And truly a great wrestler, influential, and just so many great things could be said about him. And it's amazing to see he was still going up to this point in AEW when his career was supposed to be over in 2015. So I don't have a hat, but hats off to Steve Borden, aka the man called Sting.
Oh, Brian, you make some very valid points, my friend. Yeah, love us some Sting. And you know what else we love? We love our Wrestle Talk wrestling content creators. And this week, our Ruby Ringside Wrestling Content Creator of the Week is one Jose Blueberry XX. She's a huge, massive fan for Will Ospreay, so I know she had a pretty awesome Sunday night, to say the least. So, but she has some pretty great videos talking about Will Ospreay among other wrestling things. But if you're not doing so, give her a follow. Jose Blueberry XX is our Ruby Ringside content creator of the week here on PW60. And we found out last night that AEW is coming back on pay-per-view to get more of your money on Sunday, April 21st for AEW Dynasty, coming to you live from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not shocked by this by any means. I knew they were going to be doing another show. I think it's kind of cool they're doing it in St. Louis. Already B-roll's like, hey, it's only about 4 hours away from us. I'm like, bro, I'm just going to be coming back from Mania. I don't think I can swing this that soon, man. But pretty cool to see them in the Midwest. St. Louis, a famous wrestling town, of course. You excited? Anything on this one?
Well, the thing that I'm most excited about with it is I think, the name Dynasty is a little wink and a nod to who might come back that night. So
I love where you're going with it. So, Yep. But nonetheless, we got a new pay-per-view on the horizon. And we know now we're on the road, I guess, in AEW to Dynasty. Speaking of which, too, Hambone, what do you think of this? AEW debuted their new Dynamite logo.
I don't like it.
You know, it
looks like something that comes across the screen on like Windows 98. And I just think that AEW could have come up with a better logo.
Makes me think of a video game. I don't know.
Yeah, a 90s video game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it either.
It's there. It's essentially
it's there.
Well, also it was announced this week too that CMLL will be putting on their first all-woman show in Arena, Mexico, which that's always great to see. All these other companies kind of need to come up like a lot more female wrestling. I've seen some videos from over there too. They've got a pretty good roster of female.
Cough, Tony Khan. Cough.
Just saying, the man makes a good point. Also, Hambone, it has come out. There's been heavy rumors, but it seems like it is going to be announced. SummerSlam potentially is going to be coming to Cleveland, the Cleveland, Ohio area this year. They'll have it at Brown Stadium. Already talking about it. I think you and I talked about too. Maybe having to hit up SummerSlam. It's not too far of a haul for you or myself. About a 4-hour drive for me.
It's only a little bit more than a 4-hour drive for me. So we'll think about it. Yeah. See what's going to happen there. But already it's swirling around in my brain.
Yep. So it's going to be excited to see, man, especially with what WWE is doing right now, man. And finally, this week was a rough week as we lost not one, not two, but 3 all-time greats. Ole Anderson, Virgil, and Butcher Fashawn all passing away. We here at PW60 want to wish our deepest condolences to them and their family. They will truly be missed. I found something fascinating about Virgil that you found out.
Yeah, I know where you're going, and yes, this is weird.
His age.
Yeah.
Apparently, Virgil was lying about his age all along. He actually was in his 70s.
Yeah.
So that's nuts.
I mean, Virgil's gonna Virgil, bro. Like it's weird, but like, am I surprised that he did that?
No. He's the meat sauce god, man. He's always gonna be the meat sauce god to us, and we're gonna miss Virgil deeply. So, well, that's gonna about wrap it up for this week's Pro Wrestling 60. There's so much to cover. We want to thank the networks for letting us have that overrun. And Hambone, my good friend, thank you so much for filling in for Mr. B-Roll. Tell us where we can find you. Give us a little plug of Palooza real quick.
You can find me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Hambone with 3 A's, 3 O's. You can find me on X at Notorious_Bone, and you can find me every Sunday, 6 to around 8-ish p.m. on Twitch and YouTube. Freebird Rules, the podcast that I do with my 2 co-hosts, Con from the 703 and It's Just Nick. Go follow them too on TikTok as well. Right now we are balls deep in our yearly March Mad Drip tournament where we take all of the best looks from the past year in wrestling. We put them in a little 32-person bracket and they go head-to-head every week until we figure out which was the best look of the last year in the wrestling world. So go watch it, you marks.
Do it. Hey, don't forget to tune in here tomorrow as we got the premiere episode of The Hunt. We'll debut here on Cold TV. We got so much more lined up for you this week. That's going to wrap it up once again. Thank you, Hambone. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And everybody have an amazing week. Can't wait to see what happens next on the road to WrestleMania.
Bye.